22 pounds at 10-5, man. Watch the Good Fellow Sports TV, bro.
Here's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Watch
Good
Fellas Boxing.
All right, man. Yordenis Ugas and Mikey Garcia thinks Errol Spence is in trouble versus Yordenis Ugas. Let's talk about it. Check out the welterweight boxing news playlist. And obviously, people gonna say, "Well, Mikey Garcia got something against Errol Spence." We're still trying to figure out what he's seen versus Errol Spence, but could it be an honest opinion? It definitely could be. You know what I'm saying? Mikey know more boxing than all of us, probably, right? Most of us. And Amir Khan tapped in. He said that Ugas could be a problem. Obviously, all this is stemming from depending on how fresh Errol Spence Jr. is. And last time we said, well, we were seeing things that he might not be the same fighter. Whoopty blam, whoopty blase blah, whoopty bop, wop, wop, bop, And he came in and to me put a flawless performance on versus Danny Garcia. He didn't lose around, in my opinion. Danny was very ineffective. Okay. And that's my opinion. The scorecards may say something different, but I ain't seen him lose around. But then people go in and say, he probably got injured from the Danny Garcia fight. All right, and they kind of basically trying to say similar to Sugar Ray Leonard, when people say Sugar Ray Leonard was actually injured versus Sugar Ray Leonard was actually injured versus Thomas Hearns, but that was what led to the retina issue. Okay, so most of it is all of that is speculation. Could be true, but like I said before, all this stemming from him probably not being 100% healthy. Now, in my opinion, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Derrick James seemed to be great as an assessor. It don't seem like him and his Errol father, go let him go in less than 100%. And I believe if they do see something wrong with him, they're gonna reschedule the fight. And rumor is he needs some money, got some tax issues. Like I said before, I can care less. But the community that's supposed to be supporting you is bringing up personal issues and allowing people to come on the platform and bring up personal issues. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, like I said before, I care less about his issues. Now, does that mean like we might have to get the biggest and best fight that we want? Could be. You know what I'm saying? It could be a meeting out of nothing. So, but here's what Amir Khan got to say. People say, well, you in the bug camp now. I mean, it's what it is. Take it for a grain of salt. So Amir Khan said Dennis Ugas will give Errol Spence Jr. a lot of problems when the two meet in the unification fight at 147 in April. Khan says Ugas' skill set will make it difficult for the IBF WBC welterweight champion Spence, 27-0, 21 big ones, to beat him. So let's see. He told IFL TV, Amir Khan talks on Spence and Ugas. I fought Ugas in the amateurs and I beat him in the second round, said Amir Khan to IFL TV when asked to give his thoughts on Ugas fighting Errol Spence Jr. in April. Quote, I put him down twice. He's a really good fighter. He messaged me the other day as well. Ugas as a pro and is a really good fighter. As an amateur, he was a world champion when I fought him. Ugas is fighting Spence, and I think with the skill set Ugas has got, I think he will cause a few problems. I think Spence has got the power and the work rate to outpoint him, Khan says. He says, and he also want to talk about Broner, being beat Broner. I mean, I think that's a foregone conclusion. Okay, he had to throw in, he put him down twice in the amateurs. Now, he just stuck from a skill set standpoint of view. And can I see that? I mean, possibly. Ugas like to sit there with them. You got to ask yourself, you got to ask yourself too. You got to ask yourself too, who is Errol fought like Ugas? And then you got to ask yourself who is sparring partners. A lot of these guys like to use the same sparring partners, right? But then again, you got to bring in guys who fight like Ugas. Cagey, slick, pressure fighter, who like to counter punch. And you don't see too many pressure counter punchers in boxing. There's some flaws there too. He like to admire his work. He won't really finish you. And that's why I seen it as a tune-up. And people don't like I said I seen it as a tune-up because it is. To me, it's a glorified tune-up. And it's up to Ugas to change my mind. Like I said, if that was Timothy Bradley, I mean, not Timothy, we could say Timothy Bradley, if that was Thomas Hearns, if that was Paul Williams, Antonio Margarita, Carlos Catana's prime, you know what I'm saying? Roberto Duran, he wouldn't have ran right into that fight. He would have took a tune-up. He taking the weakest challenger out there. He told y'all he taking the easy route. And that's what he continued to do. You know, people said he gonna do this and do that. Well, shit, he didn't say it was gonna take 3 or 4 years to complete this. I know the pandemic and all of that, but it is what it is. You know, and we're gonna see. We seen Sean Porter have some success getting on the inside with him. You know, Sean Porter's like a Tasmanian devil. You know, Sean is like a Tasmanian devil. You know, him getting on the inside, you know, Errol Spence may never see a fighter like that again. Either with Terrence and none, Kelbrook and so on. No, none of these dudes will see that guy again. So Ugas got to do it in his own way. And yes, if I'm him, I'm targeting that eye. Yes, I'm targeting that eye. Yes, I'm targeting the face. Yes, I'm trying to open up them all cuts and scar tissue and blow his eye out. Yeah, it's a dirty game. Ain't nothing clean about boxing. Not even the money that you make. Nothing clean. It's a dirty game. But your question is, can he be effective versus Spence? And how you be effective versus that is loop around that guard. He can do that. But the thing about him is, just like he did Manny Pacquiao, as of right there. Look at that picture. He had to step over, you know what I'm saying, to give himself that angle. You know, he probably don't come over the top with the lead hand, but he really should have threw, I don't know if he did, he really should have came over top with that left hook and yam that right hand down his throat. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to beat Spence. You got to use angles. And that's how you beat southpaws like Pacquiao. You have to take that angle. When you get that angle, you have to take advantage of what you got there, and you got to land shots. You know, and that's how you beat Spence. You know, Fulton was talking about how good his guard is. When you in a high guard like that, go look at Arthur Abraham versus Carl Froch and Andre Ward. That's how you beat that. You throw a lot of punches, and you use angles to beat guys, especially if he's a southpaw. You use that angle. Because when you're in that high guard, he can't see what he can't see. Now, he can see if you throw 1 or 2 shots. Yeah, Claude used to fight at the high guard. He can see that. Once you get to looping the shots, you get to throwing 3 or 4, 5, 6 shots and stepping over. That's how you beat the high guard. Especially if he's not like Mike Tyson, he's not going to slip it and really get leverage on his shots. You know, Spence is a straight shot puncher. He got a nice little hook. Not really special, but I'm not scared of his right or left hook. This is how you beat that guy. You step over, fire your shots. Let's see what Mikey Garcia, Mr. I see flaws in Spence. I see dead people. Where, Mikey? Where? So it says Mikey Garcia says Ugas is a dangerous fight for Errol Spence to be taken with him coming off eye surgery last August. Spence is risking a serious injury to his eye, says Mikey. Okay. So he says Spence is taking a serious risk. He said, quote, I thought a tough one for Spence. That's a tough one for Spence because he's coming off of eye surgery and all that. Mikey said the fight hype on Errol Spence's next fight against Yordenis Ugas in April. He said, we don't know how his body will react from the actual fight, said Mikey, and expressing his concern about Spence's surgically repaired eye. Quote, if he gets hit, it could be damage and blow. I don't know. It could cause serious injuries. That's a tough fight for a return fight after surgery like that for Spence. Quote, big props for him for taking the fight like that, but that's a dangerous fight. Stylistically, I think Spence is a better fighter, but Ugas is no pushover. Big size, strong. Mikey said, or Dennis Ugas. He said he can't pick a winner. Okay, he says he's a world champion for a reason. You know, Mikey teamed about WBA welterweight champion Dennis Ugas. He fought good against Porter. Some thought he might have won, and then he beats Pacquiao. He's big and strong too. Quote, it's not as an easy fight. It's a tough one. And I can't even tell you who's going to win. He might even fight a little differently, a little cautious based off the injury. If he feels fine, but if he wants to be a little cautious about it, so he might fight a little bit differently than he usually is used to that could play a factor. We'll see, but it's a good fight, said Mikey about Spence and Ugas unification. Now, last time when he fought Danny Garcia, well, the last time he fought differently, bro, Errol Spence is if we bring up his resume, let's see when the last time we seen aggressive Spence. And I would say the Ocampo fight. That's the last time you've seen aggressive Spence. These last 3 opponents, Mikey, Sean, and Danny, he ain't been as vicious. With Sean, he had to fight a little aggressiveness, but he wasn't as vicious as he was against Peterson and Kell Brook, Lamont Peterson, Campo. Maybe that's because of the level of the opposition. Okay. But he been fighting different ever since he fought Mikey Garcia. If that's because of the weight, that's because this, that, and the third. But, like I said before, we went through that same thing last time with rumors about his eye. He came out, he was perfectly fine versus Danny Garcia. So, I'm not really going to feed into the eye thing. If you go out there, I trust Errol Spence and his team. Derek James's team is going to do the right thing. They're not going to put an injured duck out there. And last time they showed that. So I expect if Spence come in the ring, he's going to be 100%. I'm not worried about the eye injury. I'm not worried about, whatever happened to Danny, the accident in camp, with the eye, whatever. If he did have a torn, detached retina, if he didn't, what, I'm over it. I'm thinking they're going to put the best product out there. He's going to be fresh. And the only worry I got about him and Ugas, because I think it's a tune-up in my opinion. The only worry I got about that fight is the rust. The rust is the only thing that concerns me about Spence and Ugas. But that's the professional eye. We had one professional, Amir Khan, say that Ugas style that he fought in the amateurs is going to cause problems. Cool. Right? We had another guy come in and say, Mikey Garcia, who fought Errol Spence, and obviously who's probably scouted Ugas to see if he would like to fight Ugas. He came and said that he brought up the injuries, and he don't know how it's going to react, and he couldn't pick a winner based off that. Fine. But Amir Khan kept it 100%. Amir Khan kept it 100% about boxing. And he said stylistically, he caused him problems. Like I said before, who has Errol Spence fought with the conditioning in the counter? There ain't too many pressure counter punchers. There ain't too many Cubans out here in boxing either. It seemed like we pop one more and more on here was Yordenis, Love Joy, who was on the Melanecki card on Christmas. He coming, but like I said, there ain't too many. You can't go out there and just get a Cuban sparring partner, and you can't go out there and just get that style down to a T. You know what I'm saying? And most of the Cubans, they don't fight like they fight amateurs like Cuban, like Ugas, but Ugas has an aggressive. He's an aggressive counterpuncher. You don't see that every day. And he big and strong, he gonna be pushing Spence back. So we gonna see. Who the last guy to push Spence back? Maybe Kell Brook. But I think Ugas does it in his own special way. So it could be a dangerous fight, but I just think it's a layup for Spence. I don't think you coming off a quote unquote major injury. I think you ain't gonna pick the toughest fight. I don't care what he say. He see Yordenis Ugas as a tune-up. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't go out his way paying people to step aside to make this fight happen. That's just my opinion. I think he gonna go out there and he gonna think he can tune up. Our style mesh. But for Ugas, the key is to do what you did versus Pacquiao, and he already got to look versus Southpaw. Now Errol got a little bit more, length, and he more spry and fresh as we think. But I'm Ugas, he got the better trainer too. And Ishmael Salas, I think he one of the best in the business, if not the best. And I tell him go out there early and blitz Spence. But we'll see. I think some type of body work got to be in there too, because who's somebody that really went to Spence's body? But we'll see, man. So Amir Khan and Mikey both, had their own separate reasons for Ugas to be a tough fight. Let me know what you girls and guys think. If you got a question, business question, video request, or you want to chop it up, all my social media links subscription. Twitter's the fastest way, and Facebook and Instagram. If you want to advertise channel, video request, chop it up, whatever the situation may be, okay? All my social media links subscription. You want to find me on want to financially donate, Cash App CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link subscription. All that's in the description. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 33. Roll at the bottom of the screen too. PayPal link and all that's in the description. Best way to donate. Thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel, comment. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. Go live or drop a video. Appreciate the love, support. Check the boxing news and welterweight playlist out. One time for the one time. Let me know in the comment section. Peace.